lovelies, I hope you are all doing well and welcome back to another video of Let's Talk About It. So today we're going to talk about fear. Now fear is something that we all face on a daily basis, right? We all fear something or the other. Now fear is normal. It is a reaction or a response that our body gives to protect us from certain things. For example, we are careful when dealing with fire because we fear getting hurt and getting harmed by fire, right? Sometimes fears can cause unnecessary stress, which kind of sometimes manifests itself physically, headaches, nausea, then dizziness and those kind of things. Now it's important also to deal with these fears because sometimes our fears can get out of hand. I'm going to talk about what I do to deal with fear, and let's talk about it. Many things that can trigger a fear within us, and instead of facing that fear, we tend to run away from those fears. And what you need to know is that the more you run away from that fear, the more worse it gets. Just because you run away from that fear, that does not mean that that fear goes away. Yes, it may temporarily go away, but not on a permanent basis. So what you need to do, you need to stop and ask yourself, why is it that you are fearful? What is it that has triggered this fear within you? Why are you so afraid, and what are the risks associated with this fear? So when I was in the 10th standard, there were these vivas that were conducted, and it was the final exam. It was a Marathi viva, and I got the most strict teacher of my school. Like, she would literally not look left or right and embarrass you in front of the whole class, and everybody used to be so scared of her. And I was sitting in the class and just hoping that I get a good teacher for my Marathi viva, and this teacher enters and I was like, oh no. I started getting fearful, and I still remember there was this essay that we had to learn by heart and write and narrate, so it was called Majhi Ai. So when it was my turn, I went in front of her and I said the topic, I said the first line, and I was so scared that my sugar just dropped, my hands turned cold and I fainted. When she held my hand, they were as cold as ice. So I was scared not only because of the teacher, but also because public speaking was not my forte. I couldn't even speak in front of, forget 10 people, I couldn't even speak in front of one person. And that's why I kind of started making these kind of videos, so that I will also develop myself and grow myself. And not only that, in the whole process, I also can help somebody with whatever they are going through. Now I know that there is not an audience in front of me at the moment. I am speaking to the camera, but indirectly I am facing my fear of public speaking and kind of getting confident each and every single day. So when you have a fear, do not run from it, but stop and understand what is the cause of that fear and overcome it. You need to stop overthinking, and sometimes our fears are just so irrational. It's just all in our head. Sometimes we just stress and fear things that don't even exist, and this is like putting fuel to fire. The more you will stress about it, the more you will fear it. For example, the fear of the future. What will happen tomorrow? What will happen if I fail? What will happen if this, if that? It's like हम लोग राई का पहाड़ बना रहे हैं. Use your imaginations in positive ways and stop stressing about things that don't even exist in the first place. Now I'll tell you another story. It's a little stupid, but I think it's pretty apt for this topic that I'm talking about. Now this happened in 2010 or 11, and there was this movie that released called Bhool Bhulaiya. It's a Hindi movie, and I am a big thriller buff. And I told my dad, I want to go and see this movie at any cost. So when my dad came home from work, we went for the last show of the day, that is a 9 to 12 wala show. In spite of being a scary cat back then, I still loved to watch such films. In the movie, there's this character called Avni, who's this girl who comes to her in-laws' place from the US, and people believed her to be possessed by a spirit of a dancer from centuries ago called Monjulika. You know, when you watch a movie like this in the theater, the sound effects are so intense. So every time Manjulika would talk, I would get so scared. I would literally cover my ears. So when we came home, you know, I could literally hear the sound of the fire, like ching ching ching, and every time I tried to go away from it, it would get so intense and it would get even louder, and I got so scared. And I told my dad about it. He's like, stop thinking about it. And I distracted my mind, and then I realized that the moment I stopped thinking about it was the time that those sounds disappeared. I know this is a stupid story, but you know what I want to tell you is that sometimes our fears are all in our head. It's just a figment of our imagination that manifests itself in real life. So stop overthinking about things that don't exist and do not add fuel to fire. Learn to be a risk taker. You know, if you fear something, ask yourself, max to max क्या होगा? देखा जाएगा. When I think about that Viva incident in my 10th standard now, I be like, what was the need to be so fearful? I mean, max to max क्या होता था? She would insult me in front of everybody. I would go wrong. I would forget my speech. That's it. So stop fearing man, stop fearing what people think, and learn to be a risk taker. You know, if you fear the future, stop worrying about tomorrow, because nobody has seen tomorrow. In fact, I don't even know if I'll wake up tomorrow in the morning. Learn to live for today. Learn to live in the moment. Take one day at a time. And if you don't do something because you fear failure, then let me tell you that the feeling of failure is bad, but the feeling of regret is even worse. You know, if you try something and if you fail at it, it's okay. You know, even if you failed, you at least tried and attempted to do that thing. So you won't have the regret that I didn't even try. Now let me tell you a story. There was this farmer who bought a field, and it was a time to sow wheat, okay, the season to sow wheat. But he did not sow it. And his friend asked him, why didn't you sow wheat? He said, I thought it would rain. And the next season comes and he still doesn't sow anything. Then his friend asked him, why didn't you sow corn? He said, I thought the crop would be destroyed by insects. Then his friend asked him, then what did you sow? Then he said, I sowed nothing. So moral of the story is, stop fearing things and stop overanalyzing things and do what you have to do. On the positives, and whenever you think that you are being pulled into that zone of fear, divert your mind and do something else, because negativity intensifies fear. So do something you like to do, a physical activity or whatever it may be, and distract yourself from that fear. So guys, I hope this video has helped you in some way, and if it has, please let me know by commenting down below and pressing the like button and sharing this video to all your friends and your family and all those people you know. And I will see you next week with a brand new video. Till then, bye bye.